Hello everyone, I am Crawlers and today I have an After Effects sort of tutorial for you. I will be showing you how I made this 3D target and paintballs spatter without using any aftermarket plugins. It's nothing new and I'm sure it's been done 1,000 times before, but I just thought it might be useful to someone if they want to make something 3D. So here we go. Now I won't be doing the whole thing, just the target, because frankly I will assume that you will be able to type the text on your own, or make something else 3D thing. So I'll try to keep it as short as I can, and here we go. First I'm gonna start by making a new comp, say about 10 seconds. I don't know, let's go final. And now I'm going to real quickly create some sort of wall, so we have something, some sort of surface to bounce shadows off of. So I'm going to create a no, not a red solid, a black solid. Let's see, and I am going to drag in this concrete sort of texture I have right here. Maybe make it a bit bigger. And I am going to, let's see, change its transfer mode to something a bit better looking. No, let's see, luminosity. Yeah, that should do the trick. Okay, now I am going to take both of these layers. I'm going to pre-comp them, call them, let's see, a wall or something equally inventive. And I am going to make it 3D by toggling this box right here. Okay, now since it's 3D, I can sort of push it back a little bit. And now we have a sort of a wall going on right here. Now you can change the material options. Well, these look to be about right. So I am going to duplicate this layer. Press Ctrl D on your keyboard. I am going to call this, let's see, floor. And I am going to flip it. Let's see. No, wrong axis. I'm going to flip it 90 degrees, about right there. And I'm going to move it down, maybe even move it towards us a little bit, so just so we have something to to cast shadows on when we make 3D things. Okay, now as for the target picture, I already have this PNG of a target imported into this project, and it's just a picture of a target where I've already masked out the white parts. I mean, erased them in Photoshop. But if your picture has some background you don't want, you can either mask it out or just use the set matte effect and do it that way. Get rid of the white or black background. Okay, now I'm going to import this target picture into my comp right here, and I am going to pre-comp it. No, that's the wrong thing. Let's see, I'm going to pre-comp it, and I am going to call it target. Let's see. Okay, now I am going to make it 3D, and right now would be a good time to fiddle around with any material settings. Like I want to turn on cast shadows, definitely, and I think the rest should stay the same. Now one more thing I wanted to do with this target is, let's see, I wanted to fiddle around some with it. Like right here, I want to make a red bullseye for the center of the target. So let's see, I'm going to make a new solid, a red solid, and I am going to mask it out. I'm going to, let's see, put a circle mask, move it right towards the center. It looks about right. And let's see, I'm going to duplicate the target layer and stick it right above this layer. And let's see, I'm going to change the mode of the red solid to something like let's see, lighten. Yeah, I think that would work. And now I am going to, let's see, set the track mode to alpha. Yeah, that, okay, now that looks a bit nicer, doesn't it? The center of the target. Okay, now we can continue doing the 3D thing. Now I'm going to take the target layer and I'm going to rename it target front. Now I'm going to duplicate it, press Ctrl D, take the duplicate, put it behind the target front layer and rename it target side. I know, that's an incredibly inventive name. Okay, now I am going to duplicate this target side layer several times to give you the effect of, you know, of depth to the target right here. But before I do that, I want to create a null object. I'm going to call it something like target depth. And this is, I'm going to give it a slider control. Let's see, slider effect right here. I'm going to drag that right onto the target depth null layer. And you can make it invisible, it doesn't really matter. Okay, now what I'm going to do with this slider is I'm going to move the slider around and I'm going to control the depth of the 3D-ness, that's such a word right there, of the target. So I don't have to write it, you know, write the numbers in every layer. Alright, so I'm going to set it to 0 right now. And right now I'm going to go ahead and open up the position control of the target side layer, and I'm going to out-click the position stopwatch to enter the equation right here. And I'm going to try to enter an equation right here that would move this layer behind the target front layer. And first I'm going to open the slider effect so I can parent it to that. Alright, so, and I'm also going to open this position because I'm going to peak whip it to that position. Okay, now I am going to peak whip the target side position to the target front position and then add to that the slider control position. But a couple of changes still have to be made to this equation, and I'm going to write the equation on screen so you can see it. Instead of the target front layer, I'm going to write index -1, and what that's going to do is it's going to take the position value not from the target front layer but from the layer above it. So whatever the layer above it is, that's what the value will be. And right here I'm going to because we only want the Z to change, I'm going to enter 0, 0 values for X and Y, and I'm going to close this bracket right here, because if you don't forget to close it, you're gonna have hours of figuring out what you did wrong. So see, that works right here. And I'm going to add a camera just to show you that it is now 3D. Let's see, I'm going to turn it like this so you can see the side of the target. I'm going to take this target and I'm going to duplicate it several times. I'm going to duplicate it, let's see, maybe 20 times. And right now you can see that nothing is happening. Well, that's because our slider control for the target depth is set to 0. If you set it to something else, like let's say 5, then boom, you have all of a sudden you have a 3D target. And right now it's kind of funky. All the layers, they look sort of separate, and they have lines between them. Well, that's because there's 5 pixels in between each layer, and you can move the depth control a bit, and you can change the depth, obviously, but if you want to keep it at a real nice depth and still get rid of the lines right here, there's a neat trick to it. I'm going to delete all the side layers but one, and I'm going to add a slight blur effect to the, let's see, where's fast, there it is. I'm going to add a slight blur to the side layer. Let's see, maybe two should do it. Okay, now I'm going to duplicate it again, let's say 20 times, and I'm going to decrease the slider control a bit so that it doesn't look so nasty. There's less air between the layers. I mean, you can add more blur to it, but you know, your render time is obviously going to take a hit the more blur you add to the layers. So you should probably just decrease the depth a bit, and you know, that kind of looks good unless you look at it right from the side. So right here, this should be pretty good. Okay, now now that the 3D is done, to give it a bit of character, I'm going to add a new light. Let's see. Now I'm just gonna make it a white light. 100 sounds about right. And I'm going to put it up around here somewhere, maybe. And now if you sort of move the camera, then it kind of starts to look cool with all the shadows on the floor and everything. And you can play around with it some more with the light, obviously, but basically that's it. That's what you want to do. So you know, pat yourself on the back. I'm gonna go have a donut probably, and I'm going to go and come back for part 2 of this tutorial on how to make the spatter effects, the paint spatter. So see you then, I guess. Okay, I am back, and I hope you're all well rested for the second part of this tutorial. Now I'm going to try to apply some paint spatter to this target right here. So sort of like you know, BBs come at it and they break apart and there's paint all over the target. And conveniently I have some pre-matted paint movies that I have already imported into, well, no, not this one. Let's see, no. Yeah, this might work. It sort of looks like it comes in and spatters itself. So I'm going to import this movie right here into my comp. put it somewhere above the target front. Now I'm going to make it 3D, and I'm going to apply the, where is it, the set matte effect. Let's see, luminance, no, not invert. There it is. Now we got rid of the black background. Now we want to probably fill it with something, and here you can probably use any color you want. Just apply the fill effect, and you know, let's go for some sort of green so we can see it. There's that neon green. Now I am going to put it somewhere right before that target front, right there maybe. Obviously you can scale it down if you want to, something like this maybe. So it is going to come in and spatter right there. Maybe move it forward a bit, because later we are going to apply a paintball sound to it. So okay, now I am going to duplicate this paint layer, this spatter layer, and I'm going to also duplicate the target front layer. And what I'm going to do with the second target front is I'm going to place it above the one of the paint spatters, and I'm going to alpha the paint spatter on the target. So if I, let's see, if I turn off the second, the paint spatter is as if it didn't hit the target yet. You can see that when the we time the paint spatter to hit the target, you can see that only the paint that's on the target remains, and the other just, well, we can make it go through the target somewhere or just disappear. Now we can turn it back on, and let's see, well, it hits somewhere right about here, and what we can do is, I guess we can play around with its position, maybe its opacity, maybe even the scale. So I'm going to keyframe all of those and go forward a little bit, and maybe you know, decrease the scale, move it down the z-axis as it sort of travels through the target, and then it just make it disappear. So in fact we have this happening. So basically you have something that's coming and hitting the target and sort of, and then remains spattered on the target and disappearing like this. Now this would make a lot of more sense if we had sound going with it. So I am going to go and import the sound effect I have for the paintballs hitting was hitting the target. Okay, now I have through the magic of editing, I have already imported this sound effect I'm going to use for the paintballs hitting the target, and I am going to take a look at the waveform right here and figure out at about where, let's see, I think there's the spatter. So I want the sound to be right about here, so that when I play it, it makes a lot more sense, and it goes thump and spatters on the target. So let's play that right now and see what we have right here. Okay, that should be enough. Okay, well, this outside paint should be framed a bit faster, maybe uh, definitely should start disappearing a lot earlier than that. So maybe something like this, where we move it a few frames back. Obviously you can play around it with a lot more. You can do several of these in different colors, and well, this is basically what we're going for. So, and after this you can even go to Cinema 4D, I guess, and create a small paintball, and then maybe import it to After Effects and make it actually fly and hit the target right before the paint spatter. So you can play around with it a lot more. And well, I think that's it for the tutorial. Thanks for watching. I have been Crawlers, and please check out my other videos.